The golden arches have long stood as a symbol of comfort food and familiarity. For many, McDonald's is a place of childhood memories, laughter, and the smell of warm fries drifting through the air. But one night, in a branch whose exact location remains shrouded in mystery, before we continue, please take some time to subscribe to Dailydose, like, and share this video. Those arches became the backdrop for something far darker and far stranger. What began as an ordinary visit quickly turned into a scene that people would replay over and over online, searching for clues, unable to make sense of what they had witnessed. It all started with the silence, the kind that hangs in the air just before something unusual happened. Customers stood in line, waiting for their orders, their conversations blending into a soft murmur beneath the bright fluorescent lights. At the counter, a slender man in a gray shirt shifted nervously. He glanced behind him once, perhaps sensing something that others had missed, and then, without warning, the air in the restaurant changed. A woman, tall and broad-shouldered, her face set with determination, stepped forward. Her outfit, what many thought at first was something incomplete, was, in fact, a flesh-colored top paired with a dark skirt. It gave the unsettling impression that she was half-dressed, though this illusion was quickly overshadowed by what she did next. With a sudden motion, she seized the man by his arm. To the shock of everyone around, she hurled him down as though he were weightless, the sound of his body hitting the floor echoing through the restaurant. The room erupted into gasps. Chairs scraped back, children clutched their parents' hands, and phones were raised instantly to capture the chaos. But this was no quick burst of temper. What followed seemed more deliberate, more relentless. Each time the man attempted to rise, to brush himself off and retreat, she was upon him again. With the force of a charging bull, she drove him back to the ground, her strength unexplainable, her fury seemingly endless. Some say the man's eyes held more confusion than fear, as though he could not understand why this was happening at all. Others recall the sound of the tables rattling as he stumbled into them, the metallic clatter of trays falling to the floor. And yet, just when it seemed the moment could not become stranger, another scene unfolded at the very edge of the frame. Behind the furious woman, another customer, a second woman, dressed all in black, was confronting yet another man. At first, it seemed as though she was only yelling, her finger pointed defiantly at his chest. But in an instant, her arm swung outward, a slap or perhaps a punch narrowly avoided. The man froze in place, his palms raised as though pleading silently not to be dragged into the same fate as his unfortunate companion. 2 conflicts, 2 men cornered, and all of it happening beneath the glowing promise of a happy meal. Those who later watched the clip online wondered the same thing. What had sparked such chaos in a place meant for families, for quick meals, for the comfort of familiarity? No one could say for sure. The recording was brief, cut off abruptly as the first man stumbled near the dining tables, scrambling to his feet while the woman bore down on him once more. It ended there, leaving 1,000 unanswered questions in its wake. Was this truly a fight over food, or had something deeper been at play? Witnesses spoke afterward, some saying they could still feel the tension even after leaving the restaurant, others remarking on how surreal it felt, like watching a play unfold, one in which the actors were fueled by something no one else could see. And as the video spread, more and more people became obsessed with the unanswered mystery. Why did it happen? Why so much fury? And why there of all places? Some shrugged it off as just another internet clip, destined to fade with time. But others, those who looked closer, those who watched the woman's face in slow motion, who replayed the moment the man's eyes widened in fear, felt there was something more. Something eerie about the way it unfolded, something that didn't quite belong to the ordinary world of spilled sodas and crumpled napkins. And maybe that's why this story endures. Not because of the fight itself, but because of the feeling it leaves behind, long after the video is ended, that sometimes in the most ordinary places, the strangest things can happen. As the video's final frame froze and faded, the internet did what it always does. It speculated, it argued, it laughed, and it judged. Some said it was nothing more than drunken antics. Others suggested old grudges spilling into the open. A few even hinted at something stranger, possession, madness, or a hidden story none of us were meant to see. The truth remained elusive, hidden behind shaky footage and unanswered questions. Days after the incident, whispers began to spread. A rumor circulated that the larger woman had been a regular at that McDonald's, often sitting alone at a corner booth, staring into her phone but rarely ordering much. Some employees claimed she had been seen arguing with customers before, always muttering about respect and manners. Others said the skinny man had been there earlier in the week and the two had exchanged words. But no one could say for certain what ignited such fury that night. It's strange, isn't it? How one brief clip can capture the imagination of thousands, even millions. People who had never stepped foot in that particular restaurant, now felt as though they knew its atmosphere, its layout, even its shadows. The fluorescent lights, the plastic chairs, the faint smell of oil and salt, suddenly they became the backdrop for a tale that traveled across the world. But beyond the curiosity and the viral laughter, there lingered a deeper unease. Because when you strip away the humor and the spectacle, what remains is a moment of raw human aggression. A reminder that no matter how safe or familiar a place feels, chaos can burst through its walls at any moment. One minute you're waiting for fries, the next you're caught in a storm you didn't see coming. For the children who witnessed it that night, perhaps the golden arches will never shine quite the same again. And yet, there's another side to this story, one not caught on camera. When the chaos ended, when the phones were lowered and the police were called, there was silence. A heavy, uncomfortable silence. The woman who had unleashed her rage was taken aside. The man she had flung to the ground sat quietly, shoulders slumped, as though the fight had drained not only his body, but also his spirit. Witnesses say he refused to press charges. Maybe he wanted the ordeal to be forgotten. Maybe he feared what might happen if he didn't. The second man, the one who stood frozen as a finger, wagged in his face, left quickly. Some say he didn't even collect his food. Others claim he muttered something under his breath, something about never coming back. Whatever the truth, he vanished into the night, leaving behind only the memory of his helpless stance. In time, the story faded from the headlines. Another video surfaced elsewhere, then another, until this particular melee was swallowed in the tide of endless content. But for those who were there, the memory lingered. And for those who saw the video, replaying it over and over, the questions remained. Why did it happen? Why so violently? Maybe it was just a fight. Or maybe it was something more, a reflection of how fragile civility really is, how close beneath the surface chaos waits. After all, the woman's strength seemed unnatural, almost inhuman. The way she tossed the man, the way her fury didn't falter it, unsettled more than entertained. Could it be that something had taken hold of her in that moment? Or was it simply the kind of rage we all fear, the kind that simmers quietly until it explodes? When you think about it, McDonald's has always sold more than food. It sells familiarity, routine, and comfort. But that night, it became something else entirely. It became a stage where human nature, stripped bare, revealed its darker edges. And perhaps that's why the story continues to haunt those who remember it. Not because of the spectacle, but because of the reminder that safety is never guaranteed, not even beneath the bright glow of golden arches. So what lesson do we take from it? Maybe that patience is more powerful than anger, that silence often holds more strength than noise. Or maybe the lesson is simpler, that kindness, even in its smallest form, can prevent storms from breaking. For the man in the gray shirt, for the bewildered children, for the staff who simply wanted to do their jobs, that night will always be remembered as the evening when dinner turned into chaos. And for the rest of us, it is a tale retold at night, with a quiet warning hidden in its heart. Because sometimes, the scariest part of the world is not the monsters we imagine, but the people standing right beside us, ordinary, familiar, until suddenly they are not. And so, when the lights dim and the restaurant closes, one can almost hear the echoes of that night. The scrape of chairs, the thud of a body hitting the floor, the gasps of surprise. They linger like ghosts, reminding us that not every story has a clear beginning or end. Some simply exist, caught in the glow of a camera lens, replayed endlessly, leaving us to wonder about the truth behind the chaos. The story of the McDonald's melee is not about burgers or fries. It is about the mystery of human behavior, the fragility of peace, and the way one single moment can ripple across the world. And as you close your eyes tonight, perhaps you will remember that scene. The fluorescent lights, the shocked faces, the unanswered question. And maybe, just maybe, you'll whisper to yourself a quiet prayer of gratitude that on your last visit to a place so ordinary, so familiar, the only chaos you faced was a missing packet of ketchup.